Page 129, German Dance. Well, this looks like notes are going nuts, but again, you'll find out a lot of this is just scale passages and chords that go along, whatever. I'll just go through the process I use for learning a piece of music. Let's see what I end up with. I look it over, I see it's 4 lines of music long. The repeat signs are going to make it a lot longer, but there's only 4 lines of music to learn. Treble and bass clef, at least to start. 2 sharps in the key signature, so we're either in the key of D major or B minor. We look at the end, we're here. It's like a D major chord. I'm guessing we're in D major. However, I'm still going to do the scales and arpeggios for both D major and B minor. It probably 2 octaves up and down now. 3/8 time signature, we have a pickup beat. So the first 2 beats are elsewhere, and you'll find this is in sections. We haven't really talked about sections of music. It's like chapters in a book. You can have sections of music. That's what this is. The first 2 lines is a section, the other lines is a section. Each section has its own pickup beat, but each section ends with a measure with 2 counts in it. Overall, it comes out to 3 notes, or 3 beats per measure. So let's take it one hand at a time first, because we got all these 1/8 notes in the right hand to deal with. However, remember, if we can do the scales, that's a lot of what this is. So we're starting here. That's 3, and I'm going to connect everything at first. 1 and 2 and now what? 3rd finger. What's given here? What's going on? I just wanted to go with the scale. Well, welcome to piano music. Sometimes black keys get in the way, and we have to accommodate them, and that's what's happening here. If I just go up the scale normally in this first full measure, and then with 3rd finger there for the 2nd full measure, that puts a black key here, or white thumb here. So it doesn't work out real well. So we have to adjust the fingering to accommodate that black key, the C sharp. So here on the D is thumb, but then instead of 2, 3, let's scrunch up and do here. That way we can get the 2nd finger on that and then the thumb. So we're sort of in that position here. Rather than this position, we're in this position. That's all it is. Just to accommodate that one note. All right. Otherwise, it works fine with a scale passage or fingering. Now, measure 5, it's here. And then the 3rd finger. Well, again, we got repeated notes, so we're just doing that. 3rd, here. Now, this is like a sequence. A sequence is a pattern of notes that repeats itself going up or down the piano, or up or down the keyboard. And that's what this is. That we could keep going up or down. And a lot of times in piano music, when we have sequences like this, we'd like to finger them the same, each pattern the same. Sometimes, again, the black notes get in the way and you can't, but we try to. Here, so measure 5 is thumb and then 3. And then 3, each of these 1/8 notes start with 3. Now I'm recommending for this 2nd line here, since we're starting each of these patterns with 1/8 notes, you go ahead and do the last one 1/8 notes with 3rd also. See, they're having you stay in here once you're here, because you're there. You can do that. But I think that might be a bit awkward, so I'm going to go ahead and use 3rd finger on that last 1/8 note. So I end up with 2nd finger, not thumb. And the reason for that is because not only do I keep the sequence fingering the same, but also when I repeat or go on either one, I need the thumb on the A. Either one. If I repeat, it's A. If I go on the 3rd line, it's A. Well, if I'm thumb here, I got to do that. But if I can end with 2nd finger, my thumb is there. So again, measure 5, you're here, and then 3rd, and then 3, and then 3 again. So I'm ending up with 2nd finger, so I can use thumb next. Now I have a beat rest, so I can come down, but I like to be in position. And so I would rather not end on thumb in the 2nd line. I want to end there. So I'm going to do that. You finger it however your teacher tells you to, but that's how I'm going to do it. And then going on, they want 2nd finger now. Reach up. Now just make sure you get the notes here. There's just here, across, then one note, back and forth here. That's all he's doing for a little bit. And then I'll measure 13, you're here. And then 4, or 3. It's just, again, a scale passage going down with a little bit of a fluffiness extra added in. You don't need to play it as fast as I'm playing it, but you want to get it to where you understand this fingering here. So the only fingering changes I'm suggesting is over on measure 7 and 8. Otherwise, I'm using the fingering in the book because it flows very nicely under the fingers. Left hand has the chords. Now we're in an extended position. We're not using the deep. You don't have to use all the chords, but we're in an octave, so we're doing that. I mean, if the F sharp were there, I'd use fourth finger. But when you're down here this low on the keyboard, it doesn't really sound too good when you have notes close together. They tend to, ugh. It's just, blah. So a lot of times we'll spread the notes out and we'll leave notes out. Because that way, instead of this, it's this. And that sounds cleaner. Second line, just thumb comes down to C sharp. And it's only for, just stay out here as best you can. You don't have to come up here if it's just one measure. I can't use second very well, and hand's not that big. And then for the third line, you're up here. Measure 13, just. The in, last two measures. You can do 1, 3. You don't want the thumb here, you can second finger. Second finger come up. Whatever accommodates your hands best. I probably will use 2, 3. I like to stay out here. I don't want to come up here. Although that's doable. Put the hands together. Now when I first do this, again, I'm going to hesitate all over. I don't care. I'm here. Here, then here, then here, then here, and here. And so I go through and I put the hands together slowly and carefully. Then I go back over it a few hundred times, and this is what can take the time. Getting rid of the hesitations. Keep it slow. So it's a steady pulse throughout. Even if you have to go so slow that it sounds like an eighth note is actually getting the beat. Here. Here. However slow you gotta go, don't care, but go through it and get rid of the hesitations. And here again, just focus on the parts you cannot play. Don't keep playing it all over again. Once you can play a portion of it, put it aside. And I recommend you take this a section at a time. Take the first 2 lines and just don't play the last 2 lines. Just focus on the first 2 lines until you can get them. No hesitations. And once you can, then put the first 2 lines aside and only play the last 2 lines. And get that without. And then once you can do those without hesitations, then you go back and put it all together. It's a more efficient way to practice. Once I can do that, I'll add the articulation. We have a staccato, short staccato, flex at the wrist, and then connect them. Lift up, here, lift up, and then staccato. So add in these articulations, and then the dynamics. Well, it starts out forte or loud, that's the melody. These chords need to be soft, because down here they'll get loud by themselves. Just keep them out of the way. Now soft. Now the third line, moderately soft. You're staying there until measure 13 when you see the crescendo. Well, at measure 13, you don't suddenly change. You start the changing. So at measure 13, I'm still moderately loud here, and I'm going to take 2 measures to get loud. So it's going to be a slow, it's a louder. It's almost like every couple of beats or so, I just got a little louder, is all that is. So it's here. That's the right hand. The left hand needs to be in the background. And then once I have the dynamics sort of under control, see, I forced these things at first, the dynamics and the slurring and that, but you want to get to where you're feeling it. It feels right that it be loud there or that it be soft there. It's part of interpreting the music. Then the speed, allegro. Well, it's a dance. Think of people dancing. 1, 2, 3, 1. Not super fast, just 1, 2, 3, whatever that is. Just the one. You don't have to play it that fast. I mean, you play it at your allegro. So it needs to be accurate and the eighth notes need to be even. Doing the scales and the trill exercise with the wrists and the accents goes a long way in that, being able to play this kind of things with nice controlled even runs. Let's play this together slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. Now this is after you've learned it. So you can always come back to the video when you're ready, because the starting point of the play with me is always in the description. Go right to it and let's check it. Although it wouldn't hurt you to listen to the lesson again, just in case you overlooked something or forgot something. I'll give us 2 counts because we come in on beat 3. Now I'm not going to do louds and softs. We're not performing it. I will do the staccatos and stuff, and we will do the repeats. Now because I want to take this really slow, I put the metronome to beat 8th notes. So it's beating 8th notes here. And that's how fast we're going to go. Now give us 2 quarter note counts to come in though. Ready, and go, and 3, and. Repeat, and. And. Rest, repeat, and. test and.